All right, let me help you out with problem 1, and then you can retry a problem very similar to it. The first thing I notice is this triangle has a 45-degree angle. So this is also 45. So I'm working with that reference triangle for the 45, 45, 90. That means that the legs are congruent, and to get from a leg to a hypotenuse, I need to multiply by square root 2. And to go the other way, I need to divide by square root 2. All right. So in this problem, I asked you to find the legs. I don't know the leg lengths, but I do give you the hypotenuse. So we need to go from the hypotenuse to a leg, and once I have one leg, I know that the other leg is going to be the same. So hypotenuse to a leg. If I look at my reference triangle, I want to go from hypotenuse to leg, so I'm going in this direction, so I need to divide by square root 2. So I take my hypotenuse, which is 5 square root 3, and I divide by the square root 2. So I'm going to divide by square root 2. So for this one, I kind of look at it and I realize that the outside numbers, 5 divided by 1 is just 5, so nothing changes. But when I look at the inside numbers, the radical, I do 3 divided by 2. That doesn't give me a whole number, so I'm not going to divide them. But hopefully you remember that you're supposed to rationalize. So if you didn't get number 1 right, it was probably because you didn't rationalize. It might be also because you used the wrong reference triangle, you used the 30, 60, 90. So to rationalize, we have to remove the root from the bottom. We can't leave it there. It's not proper. So what we do is we multiply by the root that's in the bottom of the fraction. And whatever we do on the bottom, we have to do at the top. Okay, so when I do this, 5 times 1, because outside numbers multiply with outside numbers, is 5. And then inside numbers can multiply together. So since 3 and 2 are both inside the square root, I can do 3 times 2, which is 6. On the bottom, I have the square root of 2 and the square root of 2. They're both inside, so 2 times 2 is 4. When I take the square root of 4, I get 2. Now, hopefully, over time, you'll start to realize that when we rationalize, we're creating a pair. And if you remember from our factor trees, when we have pairs underneath the radicals, it's like we're saying they're squared. And we know that the square and the square root undo each other, so we're just left with what's inside the root, because the root will go away due to the square. So hopefully you can start to see you can go from here to here, or from here to there. Once we're here, the one thing you do have to do is double check that the outside numbers don't simplify, kind of like a fraction. So 5 over 2, I asked myself, does that simplify? It does not for this problem, so I won't simplify it. If it did, I would simplify it and leave square root 6 on top. Okay, so this one doesn't change at all. So 5 square root 6 over 2 is my answer for the legs. So why don't you go ahead and take what you've learned from this video and try the retry problem.